Hi guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Canis and I live in a boat. In the last episode I agreed a price for the Dutch barge to Vrouwe Linda, got a survey done and placed my deposit. In this episode I'll cover the period from the end of January to the 1st of April 2019. I decided to start this channel while in lockdown in April 2020, so I'm telling this story in retrospect until we get up to date. After asking SRF Boatyard to weld a few plates to the hull and give it a new coat of anti-foul paint, I decided to take advantage of their services and ask them to sort some other issues out. To get the boat insured, I needed the diesel tank cleaned and the boat serviced so I could take the boat across the English Channel safely. But there were two tanks, a massive one under the floor in the main cabin and a tank beside the engine. They were connected to each other and I didn't need that much diesel storage, so I asked SRF to dispose of the diesel out of both tanks. I wanted the tank in the cabin disconnected, as I would be removing it at a later date. However, the tank beside the engine had no inspection hatch, so a new one needed to be installed. Diesel tanks need to be cleaned prior to crossing the English Channel. This is because if you don't clean the sediments at the bottom of the tank, it could get sloshed by the waves in the channel, and the sediment might go through the fuel system, causing the engine to stall. For safety, it is a requirement from insurers to have this done prior to making the crossing. Before this could be done, there was a small matter of completing the sail. So a trip to Zwolle in the Netherlands to see the lawyers to complete it. I'd already paid my deposit, so I needed 29,000 euros. I had pre-authorization from the bank of Mum and Dad, and the funds were transferred. I agreed to borrow the sum on the basis that when I sell my narrowboat, I would pay them back. However, they said to me that I was to take my time and not to worry about it. I want to pay them back as soon as possible. Rob Cable and his mother came to sign the documents at the notary offices of Het Notarieel in Zwolle. They were efficient and friendly, and that was it. I owned de Vrouwe Linda. SRF got on with the work. I had to clear out the engine bay so they could get access. Look at all the stuff I found. On the first day of April 2019, I arrived to collect the boat in Harlingen and cruised back to Makkum. SRF were awesome, and as a parting gift, they had given me mooring ropes for free. Big beefy ones. They didn't tell me they did it either. So I fired up the DAF 475 with fresh, clean diesel on board and off I went. The weather was glorious. I lived on my narrowboat for 4.5 years by this stage and knew how to handle a boat on my own. De Vrouwe Linda is the same length as my narrowboat, but twice the width. The DAF 475 is an 80 horsepower 6-cylinder monster and pushes the Vrouwe Linda with ease. The DAF engine was installed new in 1975, but a question about how many of those 80 horses are still on board needs to be investigated. I didn't push my luck with the engine and took it steady at 1500 RPMs as we crossed the Waddenzee. As I approached the lock at the Avsley Dyke, I called the lockkeeper to ask for passage, and he told me to go to the portside lock, as there were 2 of them. Although, 2 minutes later I had to call him again to ask him which side is port. He burst out laughing. I made it to Makkum across the Easelmere, which was much rougher due to the wind coming off the land from the east. I moored my boat on my mooring. What a glorious first cruise on my own. One job left to do. I drove my car to Harlington to collect the Vrouwe Linda that morning. I brought my bike in the car and had it with me on the boat back to Makkum. So now I had to cycle back to Harlingen to collect the car. Took only 40 minutes, but what a sight. The wind had calmed down, and it was perfect. When I got to my car, the Dutch fire service had surrounded it and were conducting training exercises with their new equipment. I had parked my car beside the dock they were pumping water from. Again, they were all super friendly and up for a bit of a laugh. Just to be clear, my car was not parked illegally and was not impeding their work.
In the next episode, summer comes, and Kenneth finds out more about his boat